Hey, before we get to today's conversation, I have a favor to ask. CityCast is doing our annual listener survey, and you would really be helping us out if you filled it out. If you already did the survey last year, thank you, but we would be grateful if you took it again since we can't use last year's data anymore. Please go to citycast.fm/survey to take that survey. It's only 7 minutes long, and that's if you take your time. Trust us, we timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. And when you take the survey, you'll also be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and CityCast swag. So head on over, citycast.fm/survey.
Can you spot a scam? Well, today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm here with Celestia Ward. She's a card-carrying skeptic and host of Squaring the Strange podcast. She's going to tell us how to be a little more skeptical the next time we're presented with an offer that's too good to be true. It's Tuesday, May 21st. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Celestia, people love to call everything a scam now. There was this survey that came out of like the top Vegas scams, and it was just like, I saw Penn and Teller and didn't like it, which is not a scam, that's a preference. So when is something a scam versus just a bad deal?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Penn and Teller because they are not only not scams, they are prominent skeptics.
They are. I shout out to Penn and Teller. My mom and I went and we had a blast. So I do not think you're one of the top scams in Las Vegas, but that is ironic.
Yes, a scam is not just a bad deal or something that is more expensive than you think it should be, because Vegas is full of those.
Yes.
Scams are on the edge of legality. They're often illegal.
Yeah.
They are harmful and they are trickery. And skeptics love rooting this out. There are medical scams, alt-med scams. There are confidence game scams. There are phony, semi-culty supernatural scams.
Psychic stuff.
I mean, yeah. And even, in order to legally operate in Las Vegas, all the psychics have to have something that says for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, interesting. We were just talking about in the news this week, there have been all these fraudulent ride shares at Harry Reid Airport where people unlicensed, unregistered are picking up people for cash too, which is a really common, I think, scam in a lot of cities too that you're advised not to do. So on that, let's help Las Vegans and our visitors be a little safer. So what are some big Las Vegas scams and how can we avoid them?
One of the ones I put to the top of the list was the IV drips right to your hotel room.
For like a hangover, like the fancy people do.
Yes, vitamin infusions via a needle in your arm to...
That does sound like something I want. I do want someone to come give me a saline drip every morning. You're telling me it's not real?
I'm telling you it would produce very expensive urine, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
The treatment idea is pretty old. It's older. What year do you think this particular treatment was pioneered?
Oh, okay. Well, I wish I knew more medical history about when the IV drip was invented. I'm going to say 1901.
Oh, well, you actually went further back than I thought. No, there was a doctor named John Myers in Baltimore, and he pioneered this idea with the vitamins into the IV back in the 1960s. And he was hoping it would treat asthma or migraines, fibromyalgia. And there have never been any statistically significant results showing that it worked. But treatments that are discarded by regular medicine are routinely picked up by alt-med and quacks and recycled into perpetuity. And so nowadays you see on billboards everywhere in Vegas, delivered by a healthcare professional right to your hotel room. Get over your hangover right away, blah, blah, blah. And these are expensive. They are not something your insurance card will work on.
Yeah.
I looked at a treatment menu, and yes, it's a tip-off if you're looking at something for medical purposes, and it's called a menu.
Like when I get my pedicure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Non-medical.
Yeah, they went from about $199 to nearly $800.
Oof. Okay, so just so I'm breaking this down here, someone will come to your hotel and they will give you an IV drip.
Yes.
And usually if you have this done within a doctor's office, it's going to be just like a saline solution to hydrate you after you're severely dehydrated. But the reason they're charging $800 is because they have a magical mix of vitamins and minerals, which are not going to get absorbed, and they're just going to be peed out into your Vegas toilet.
For the most part. I mean, there are certainly people that have vitamin deficiencies, but the difference between getting this done in a medical setting or getting it done in your hotel room, number one, a healthcare setting, the doctors will have determined, hey, this person is medically dehydrated, they need this, blah, blah, blah. In your hotel room, they are advertised as healthcare professionals. They are not doctors. They're often not nurses. They don't have any degree. Somebody who has been trained to put a needle in an arm. And there are risks to that. You can read about situations where people have developed infections due to the IV. An IV is not completely medically risk-free.
Horrifying.
And the results they promise are very fuzzy. I've spoken to doctors I know. They're like, yeah, it's basically the same as drinking water.
Yeah.
And various medical establishments have put out debunkings of this. Cedars-Sinai, Harvard have all said their consensus is none of the therapies are FDA approved. They're not going to be covered by health insurance.
Right.
And they are mostly harmless and really just result in people making expensive urine.
Okay, so everybody DoorDash yourself some Gatorade,
Yes.
some coconut water. They make coconut water with espresso in it now, but also why don't you just get yourself some cold brew on top? That's going to cost you at most $50, and it's going to fix you up for another day at the day club. Tell your friends, okay?
There you go.
All right, Celestia, top scam number 2. What do you got for me?
Well, this one isn't a medical scam. It's an ancient confidence game.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
And it was one of those things where, as a skeptic, you learned about this really early from magicians, because a lot of magicians are skeptics. And the thing I'm thinking of here is 3-card Monty.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So like literal cards are sometimes like the P under the cup and which one is it under, that kind of thing.
That's, the shell game or 3-card Monty, find the lady. There's a couple of names for it. And I thought to myself, okay, this is a well-known scam.
Yeah.
Nobody would fall for this. But in my time on the Strip doing, various Las Vegas things.
Yeah, you're a character artist,
I'm
amongst other things.
Yeah. And I've done various, things on the Strip. And I have observed so many people getting ripped off by the 3-card Monty scam. It still happens.
You know what helps with these kind of scams, Celestia?
What?
Alcohol.
Alcohol it helps a little bit. Yep.
But also, like, sometimes you're a little bit more, like, if we're going the hoax way, if you're a little drunk, you're like, okay, come on. Like, like you're just more game to do something stupid, but maybe not necessarily take offense. Do you think some people are going into 3-card Monty knowing that they're not going to get it? Or do you think people feel confident they're going to win their money back?
Oh, the con in con stands for confidence. And I saw a lot of confidence among people. One fellow actually took me aside because he saw that I was a local and not a tourist. And he said, hey, I'm thinking about doing that over there. If I win, will they pay me or will they run away? And I'm like, oh, you poor dear thing. You think you have a chance of winning?
Okay, so tell me how it works. It's a scam. Like, how do they...
The way that this works, and this is all over the world, this 3-card Monty dates back to the 1800s at least, and it's all over the world. There are names for this game in French, Italian, German, and Ugandan, even all over the world. And the way it works is the person doing the game, often in Las Vegas, you'll see it done on a portable TV tray.
Yes, because you can't stay still on those walkways anymore. So you're going to get moved along pretty quickly. So you got to be able to fold her up.
You'll see it on a tray table like that, and they'll be doing it real quick. And any person you see winning the game, because you will see people winning it, that is a confidant. That is somebody who is working with the person behind the cards. So they'll go through some various routine of one person wins, 2 people win, 1 person wins, 1 person loses, a 3rd person picks up the wins. Sometimes there are a dozen or more people involved in this to get some sucker to think, okay, this guy's legit. He really did pay that person $50. Okay, I'm going to try. And of course, there's a number of ways using misdirection or card manipulation. It's a magic trick. They're using sleight of hand. The bean is never underneath the bottle cap at all. The card, there might be a folded end of a card, making somebody think, oh, the one with the folded end is the queen. I have figured it out. No, you haven't figured it out. You have figured out what they want you to think.
Yes.
So just don't do it. It's obviously, it's totally illegal. You cannot run a gambling operation on a TV tray, on a walkway in Las Vegas.
Not legal. That's not licensed.
It's not. Leave it to the casinos who have a gambling license.
Let them take your money instead.
Yes. And that's not a scam because they're very upfront about that. They're like, our slots will pay back 97%. You know, they're very upfront about what gambling is. But 3-card Monte is not gambling. It's just giving your money to a magician.
Let's do one more. Celestia, what else you got for me?
Well, this one is, these are sort of my sisters in arms here, but I do want to warn folks that, street performers and showgirls that you see on the street in Las Vegas, they present a little bit of a scammy situation in that a lot of folks walk up and think, oh, I can just get my photo with this person. And then they are suddenly whiplashed when the person says, give me $20.
Yeah.
Or give me $50. Or give me, Vegas Starfish, the influencer, has a video out claiming that these girls will ask for $100. I have not seen anybody demand $100, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. What many tourists might not realize is all these girls in the showgirl outfits, you'll notice if you drive around for even 15 minutes in Las Vegas on the Strip, you'll see many of these girls in pairs, and the costumes kind of look a little bit same, like they're put together in the same warehouse.
They're coming from like a central showgirl commissary, like distribution center. Yeah, it's their job.
It's a job. They are organized. Yeah. They are run by like one operation.
Yeah,
and if you have somebody providing costumes and territories, like different girls are assigned to different areas. You also have the organization of here's how you shake down people for their money. So they are well trained in terms of they don't give away photos for free. And while legally they're not allowed to have like a menu of like, if you want a photo, it's this much money. They will make it unpleasant for people who try to just, give them $1 or something. So,
all right, don't to the wise. Yeah, like if you want a fun photo with the cool showgirl, beautiful women or men, but those are like more official photo booths usually on Fremont Street. Like, just know you should tip them. We're a tipping economy. You have to give them money. You can still have the photo, but you have to give them money.
Yes, prepare for it to be a very unpleasant experience if you're not going to give them, have a 20 on hand to give the showgirls
and get the fun photo for the Insta.
Yeah, and that's a subcategory of this is the CD guys. Hey, you want a free CD? You want a free CD?
Oh my God,
it's not a free CD. Don't take it unless you can give the guy $20.
Who even has a way to play those CDs anymore?
I'm not sure. Are they doing downloads now? Maybe
I don't know.
Are.
My car does have a CD player, but it's a 2009 Prius. Yeah. I dug out my college CD collection. It's a novelty at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Celestia. We got time for one more. What do you got for me?
Well, we've gone through the medical scam and the showgirl scam. Let's talk about drugs.
Ooh, drugs. Okay. I have a feeling I know what this is going to be about.
You guys did a whole podcast about cannabis shops that aren't really cannabis shops.
Look it up, everybody. It's in our feed.
Yep. And the long and short of it is county officials have banned real dispensaries on the Strip.
Right.
But that has not stopped little storefront operations from looking kind of like weed shops while offering only CBD products.
Right.
Things that will not get anyone high. And I trolled around and there was one angry Redditor who said, none of the shops on the Strip sell bud with THC, but they all pretend like they do and they charge over premium prices for it.
Correct.
Leave the Strip for your nugs.
Leave the Strip for your nugs, everybody.
Yes.
And to be fair, now there are 2 cannabis cafes right next to the Strip. Head on over to the dispensaries that also allow you you can also imbibe in house too. They're super fun.
Yeah, I was going to say Smoke and Mirrors just opened in February.
Right.
And that's about a block behind Resorts World. and it's designed for people to stumble back to their hotels. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Take it over there,
you can smoke it or drink it in a cannabis-infused cocktail. A little confession, I've never smoked or done weed.
You've never?
I'm one of those straight edge goodies.
It's okay.
And
Weed is not my drug of choice anyway.
A cannabis infused cocktail, I could do that though.
Yeah, I would try. Okay, well, it's a date. We'll go check it out. Rob, our newsletter editor, and my co-host went. And Layla went. Producer Layla Muhammad went. Had a great time.
Well, yeah. After we do that, we'll get our photos with showgirls, and we'll get a detoxing IV.
I mean,
just for funsies.
Sounds good. And you know what? With this no shade to CBD, my parents have a really angry cat that apparently has really chilled out on kitty CBD. So not a total scam, just a scam presented in the way that it is on the strip. Don't buy weed on the strip. It's not legal. It's not going to have THC in it. Okay, Celestia, at this point, I should out myself because I was very excited to do this interview because my parents have been card-carrying skeptics since the 1970s.
Awesome.
The last time they were both in Vegas together was for the massive Skeptics Conference, which happens here every October. I think they were here in 2019. And long ago, when I was a wee little Sarah Lohman, the amazing Randy came to dinner at my house. Yeah.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I remember, I think I probably was 4, and he bent a fork in front of me and he made my stuffed animal disappear. So for those who don't know, the Amazing Randy, is one of the probably most prominent and longest running, other than maybe Houdini, magician / debunker of not magic. He's not one that gives tricks away, but like debunking scams and frauds, like psychics and things like that, like fork bending, which was a big thing in the 70s too.
Yuri Gelman is still trying to do it with spoons.
Is he?
Yes, he's the rubber ducky that will not sink.
TikTok exists now, everybody. Learn how to bend a spoon yourself on TikTok. So can you define for our listeners, what is a skeptic? You've used that word to define yourself a couple times. What does that mean?
Well, skepticism for me and for many people in the movement is the intersection of public science education and consumer advocacy.
Oh, cool.
We don't like seeing people get ripped off. We don't like seeing phony medicine cost people their lives in some cases. And we get our hackles up when, phony psychics defraud people who are grieving.
Yeah.
When politicians are willfully or sometimes genuinely ignorant of scientific facts, and that ignorance translates into legislation that harms people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fronts that you can sort of work on if you are a card-carrying skeptic. And I say that tongue-in-cheek. We don't have a card.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe you should. I don't know.
But we do have gatherings and organized efforts, and the James Randi Educational Foundation would meet here every July. And it was usually at the South Point. They did a number of the amazing meetings, and that brought
it's really funny.
There were like 1,500 skeptics that would gather and hear talks and do workshops and just generally get together. The last one of those was in 2015. And then the sort of heir apparent to that is the CSICon. And CSI is not crime scene investigation. Mm-hmm. It is the Center for Skeptical Inquiry. Mm-hmm. The gathering for 2024 is happening October 24th to 27th.
Ooh, and I read you've got a big headliner this year.
We've got a couple of them. It's going to be at the Horseshoe, which is formerly Bally's.
Bally's, yeah.
And this year we've got Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox from the UK.
Ooh.
So those are just 2 of the featured speakers. We've got a whole lineup, and people get together. It's a good ticket to get if you're just interested in public advocacy of rational, critical thinking.
Well, yeah, my parents have already asked if they can stay here, so I'll be expecting a visit from them. So why should Las Vegans learn to be better skeptics?
Oh, we're a unique place. As Penn Jillette once said, this town was built on bad math. So, to learn how to be less innumerate, to learn how to understand what statistics actually mean, how to properly read a scientific study, how to avoid being worried about things that are used for fear-mongering and to scam people, is something that all Las Vegans should really have a stake in, because, we should be putting on a show, not letting people get duped.
So it's part of us being good hosts to the world, but also next time you're on the Strip, maybe we can sniff out what seems a little too good to be true ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Celestia, this was so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? You can rate the show and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget, subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. And a fraud?
A fraud, well, there's many legal definitions of fraud, and I would rather have David Figler explain that to me because I'm not
David
a lawyer.
Figler, co-host of the podcast. All right, that's fair. We'll drop him in right here. No, we probably won't.